Okay. It looks like we're having people jump on. Welcome everyone to the third episode of Growing Stronger's 𝘾𝙊𝙉𝙑𝙀𝙍𝑠. We are here, and thank you for joining us today. We are here with, sorry. We are here today for a conversation with Christina McFadden about BioMarin's patient support services. This is an important conversation because in some cases, getting a written prescription for a treatment is really only the beginning of the process, and there can be multiple steps that follow. And so this is why many manufacturers offer support services that can aid in understanding the insurance process and options and copay cards for eligible families and training on how to administer their products. This evening, Christina will help us understand the support that BioMarin offers for their therapies. And in this conversation, we will focus on support offered in the United States only. Outside the US, support services can vary, and so we recommend speaking with your doctor about those options if you are joining from outside the US today. In addition, due to regulations on how and when manufacturers are able to discuss their products, we will not be speaking about or able to answer any questions about any specific BioMarin products today. And for any specific questions, we do recommend visiting BioMarin's product-specific websites. And so just to start now, Christina, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role?
Well, first off, Chandler, thank you so much for having me. This is like such a great way to close out the week, kick off the weekend. So thank you. So I grew up in Northern California. I'm a native to the San Francisco Bay Area. My husband and I have 2 children, and I would get in a ton of trouble if I didn't mention our furry friend named Ollie. My daughter is going into the 5th grade next year, and my son's going into 3rd grade, and I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that summer is here. We love like all the outdoor activities that Northern California has to offer. We hike, there's a ton of great trails. We love heading out to the beach. The kids love to swim, boogie board. And my daughter learned about the national parks just this past year in 4th grade. So we're exploring Yosemite for the first time as a family in the summer. And one of the kids' most favorite thing to do over the summer is to sit around the campfire, eat s'mores, and tell stories. I'm pretty sure that it's really just eating the s'mores part that they like, but I'm sure that it will be on the agenda along with some pretty incredible hikes. But I would love to take the opportunity here to hear from all of you. If you feel comfortable, please share in the chat what you're looking forward to doing with your family this summer. Chandler, while people are adding things in the chat, what about you?
I have coming up next weekend, I'm actually seeing Paul McCartney with my dad on kind of like an early Father's Day fun thing to do. And then the following weekend, I am actually hosting the 4th annual achondroplasia research conference. And then other than that, my summer is kind of, not too much planned. Growing up, I took dance all my life. And so my summer, like June, was really based around my summer dance recitals that I had every year.
Wow.
And so it was just like, yeah. So,
well, it sounds like you have some pretty fun things ahead.
Yeah.
So to answer the second part of your question about the role, so I was interested in science and helping others at a pretty young age. I went on to become a registered dietitian and certified diabetes educator, and have held just various roles in the healthcare setting for the past 20 years or so. But as a BioMarin clinical coordinator, I provide personalized support for individuals, families, and caregivers that are prescribed BioMarin therapies. And education and supporting others are really at like the core of what we do as clinical coordinators. And that's truly what I love to do. So it's been a perfect fit. And we provide education on the BioMarin products and the conditions that our products treat. And then we also assist with the coordination of accessing our therapies.
Awesome. So when would a clinical coordinator be introduced to families, and for how long does BioMarin provide support via the clinical coordinator?
That's a great question, Chandler. So once the decision has been made to treat by the family and the physician, the clinical coordinator would reach out and support begins. And our support is ongoing really throughout the journey on the medicine. And we really try and tailor our level of support to the needs of the family and or the individual. And our services are really available for as long as the individual or family needs us.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And what additional services does BioMarin provide?
Another great question. So another service we offer for all of our treatments is the BioMarin Rare Connections team of case managers. And they're really the experts when it comes to the insurance process. So they're going to help families navigate the process. They're going to help them understand insurance coverage options, identify assistance options they may be eligible for, and then help them also gain access to treatment. And just like our clinical coordinator program, their services are also ongoing. So for example, if there's like an insurance coverage change, they're there to help reduce any lapse in treatment by identifying options. And our teams work really closely with one another, which is great.
Can you walk us through the process of getting specialty treatments from the point of when a prescription is received? And I know we actually have a great handout to share today that I will share to the screen.
Perfect.
Hopefully everyone can see that.
Perfect. Thank you, Chandler. So my goal on a Friday afternoon and evening for some of you is to make this as exciting as possible. So I'm going to kind of work from left to right of the document. So I'm going to take you through the steps using this pathway as kind of like our guide. And this can really vary by medicine, but I'm going to show you how it generally works with BioMarin products. So again, starting from the left, and you'll also notice that BioMarin Rare Connections, the 3 steps on the left are going to be kind of owned by them, and then specialty pharmacy, the 2 on the right. So again, step 1 is that program enrollment. So the doctor is going to prescribe the specialty drug and submits forms to BioMarin to initiate requests for coverage. So these forms are the patient consent form and then the prescription. And what a patient consent form is, it just allows BioMarin to provide support services on your behalf. So moving over to step 2, explaining coverage options. So the BioMarin Rare Connections case management teams, the team that I was just talking about just a little bit ago, they're going to perform a benefits investigation, or just BI for short, to confirm the benefits that your insurance plan offers. And that BI will help you determine if your plan will cover the prescribed specialty drug, how much it will cost you, and if the plan requires prior authorization, or again, PA for short for the drug. And PA, all that means that your doctor will be asked to provide additional information for the plan to cover the cost of the drug. And many plans require prior authorizations for specialty medications. And some items your doctor may be asked to submit might include, for example, results of any tests or procedures that confirm the diagnosis. That could include genetic testing, for example. Any additional information requested by the insurance company. And insurance companies have different requirements, so everyone's experience may be different. And the BioMarin clinical coordinator, so myself, for example, would reach out and be the one to provide the benefits investigation results. How am I doing, Chandler, on a level of like 1 to 10 for engagement here?
I like it. I think it's good.
All right. So step 3, financial assistance support. So BioMarin offers a copay assistance program for eligible individuals. So you would be screened at this point for copay assistance, which is generally only available for patients who have only a commercial insurance plan. And the Rare Connections case management team would identify additional support options if needed. And so once there's an approval from insurance, then the prescription is transferred over to the in-network specialty pharmacy. So moving on over to step 4. So step 4 being the specialty pharmacy shipment coordination. So again, you'll notice at this point, the specialty pharmacy is going to handle the shipment coordination and maintaining therapy. So and I'll just say SP for short because it's kind of a mouthful. The SP will verify the prescription, and then they're going to validate insurance coverage. So the SP will reach out to you. They'll coordinate the shipment, and the pharmacies will ship the medication right to your home, which is really nice. They'll review packaging, delivery information. Some medications will be required to be shipped cold. So the specialty pharmacy and/or your BioMarin clinical coordinator can review, proper shipping, storage, and handling of the medication. And then finally, step 5 is maintaining therapy. So when placing refills, the specialty pharmacy will review insurance. They'll work with the doctor to renew prescriptions and prior authorizations as needed. And then your BioMarin clinical coordinator will also be there to provide refill reminders and just ongoing support. So that's kind of a high level view of the process.
Good. I think that's very, it shows people kind of like, again, I mentioned, I did dance growing up, and it kind of this, I feel like, shows what goes on behind the scenes that people may not be aware of. It's not as simple as to just be like, hey, I want this, how do I get it? There's a lot of different, steps involved. And so this is really, I think helps a lot of families kind of get a better understanding of that. So I will
hope it's helpful.
Stop that share. So our next question is, let me pull it up. Our next question is, what happens if there is an insurance denial? Does BioMarin help, or how does BioMarin also help in these cases if there is a denial?
That's a great question, Chandler. So if there is a denial, the plan is going to inform the specialty pharmacy, the doctor, or the patient with an explanation. So you'll get an explanation. The drug request decision process, it might take some time to resolve while the BioMarin Rec Connections or specialty pharmacy works with the doctor's office, which can appeal the decision on the behalf of the patient. So you, your doctor, and/or the specialty pharmacist may need to submit additional information about the drug request. And many plans require that you complete an appeal form as part of that request. And the appeal forms can vary from plan to plan. And then depending on the plan, there might also be multiple levels of the appeal. It might be helpful to include your own letter or a letter from your child, for example, if they are the patient, explaining why the medication is important to you. And you can also, something that can be helpful is you can visit the BioMarin Rec Connections website to get tips on how to navigate through the prescription drug coverage.
Cool. And I'll be sure we will send, after this episode, we'll send everyone, a link to watch this later on, and we'll be sure to provide just a link to the Rare Connections just so it's there in everyone's inbox.
Perfect.
Next question, in the case of a treatment that is a daily injection, are there specific areas where you provide support to families?
Yeah, love this question too. So prior to starting treatment, the clinical coordinators prepare the family on what to expect, how to best set themselves up for success, not only with that first injection, but really like the ongoing injections as well. So we have great resources, including injection videos to help support the safe and effective use of our medications. And we'll review those in detail with the families. In addition, we have a dedicated field-based team that can provide in-person injection reinforcement training. And most individuals are new to injections, so our goal is to really help individuals gain confidence and just feel more comfortable with the process. And again, I mentioned earlier, our support is ongoing. So if there's ever a need for additional injection training in the future, that can always be arranged. For example, I have recently arranged for grandparents to be trained while parents of a child on therapy are traveling out of the country. So again, because the support is ongoing, we check in and can provide support throughout the journey.
Awesome. And I think this is the last question that we had submitted, but how could someone connect, or how, can a family, or if I wanted to connect with someone at BioMarin to learn more kind of about, what we discussed today and everything?
Yeah, I would suggest, visiting the BioMarin Rare Connections website. You'll also find on this website the patient consent form that I mentioned earlier on, information about copay assistance, and then just in general helpful insurance information. So I probably would start there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it looks like we have the BioMarin Rare Connections link posted in our chat.
Perfect.
So that's great. If there are any, attendees on who have any maybe last minute questions for Christina, please feel free to shoot them. But if not, this was a really great, informative session today. I feel like, just to give our viewers sort of an overview of, the steps to take when, thinking about support and everything. So this is awesome.
Yeah, thank you again, Chandler, so much.
Thank you. And for those on, you will, when you sign off, there will be like a quick 4-question survey just asking how the experience was with the software or the Zoom tonight. And so if you can answer that, that would be great. But other than that, I think that's it. Christina, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, thank you, Chandler, and have so much fun with all your fun activities this summer.
Thank you. All right.